Imagine a knock at your door on a quiet night. The air is still, and the only sound is the faint rustling of leaves in the breeze. You peer through the peephole, expecting a friendly face, perhaps a neighbor or a late-night visitor. Instead, two children stand there, their expressions a mixture of innocence and unsettling maturity. Something feels off. A chill runs down your spine. Then you see their eyes completely black, like pools of endless night. No whites, no iris, just an abyss staring back at you. This unsettling image is the basis for the legend of the black-eyed children, a phenomenon that sends chills down the spines of those who dare to learn about it. These children are not just figments of imagination, they are a mystery that has baffled and terrified many. These are not your typical spooky stories told around campfires. They are accounts that have been shared by people from all walks of life, each with a chillingly similar experience. Reports of black-eyed children have been increasing, spreading through hushed whispers and terrified online accounts. People share their encounters in forums, blogs, and social media, each story adding to the growing legend. They emerge from the shadows, often at twilight or late at night, their eyes reflecting no light, no life. They seem to appear out of nowhere, blending into the darkness until they are right in front of you. Their appearance evokes a primal fear, a deep-seated unease that whispers of something inherently wrong, something that defies the natural order. It's as if they are not of this world, but something far more sinister. These encounters often follow a similar pattern. The children appear at your doorstep, seemingly out of nowhere, and always with a request. The children, typically appearing between the ages of 6 and 14, approach their victims' homes, asking for entry. They might ask to use the phone to come in from the cold, or to seek help for a fabricated emergency. They claim to need to use the phone to be let in from the cold, or to seek help for a fabricated emergency. Their pleas are often accompanied by an unsettling calmness, a stark contrast to the urgency of their requests. Their voices, often described as unusually adult-like and strangely compelling, add another layer of discomfort to the already eerie encounter. It's as if they know exactly what to say to make you let your guard down, to make you open that door. But those who have encountered the black-eyed children warn against giving in to their requests. They speak of an overwhelming sense of dread, a feeling that something terrible will happen if you let them in. The safest course of action, they say, is to close the door, lock it, and never look back. For once you let them in, the consequences are unknown and potentially dire. The legend of the black-eyed children continues to grow, fueled by the fear and fascination of those who hear their stories. Whether they are real or simply a modern myth, one thing is certain: the black-eyed children are a chilling reminder of the unknown lurking in the shadows. The year was 1996. Brian Bethel, a journalist in Abilene, Texas, found himself at the heart of what would become one of the most well-known black-eyed children encounters.
Sitting in my car in a movie theater parking lot, I was approached by two young boys. They knocked on my car window, their faces a strange mix of youthful innocence and unsettling maturity. As a seasoned reporter, I felt an immediate pang of unease. Something about the boys seemed off. I rolled down my window slightly, maintaining a barrier between myself and the strangers. The boys repeated a familiar plea. They wanted to use my phone, claiming their mother was in trouble. Their voices were unusually persuasive, almost hypnotic.
As Bethel continued to speak with the boys, his unease grew into full-blown fear. He noticed their eyes, completely black, devoid of any iris or white. The sight sent a chill down his spine, his instincts screaming at him to flee. Bethel, breaking free from the strange hold the boys seemed to have over him, rolled up his window and drove away. He never forgot the look in their eyes, a look that haunted his dreams and fueled his desire to understand the phenomenon. Bethel's account was not an isolated incident. In fact, it was just the beginning of a series of eerie encounters that would soon be reported from various parts of the world. Reports of black-eyed children encounters began to surface from various corners of the globe, each more unsettling than the last. These reports were not confined to any one region or culture, but seemed to span across continents, suggesting a phenomenon that was both widespread and deeply mysterious. From the United States to the United Kingdom, the stories were eerily similar. People from all walks of life, in both urban and rural settings, began to share their chilling experiences. From Australia to continental Europe, the encounters continued to be reported with alarming frequency. It seemed that no place was immune to the presence of these unsettling figures. These unsettling figures seemed to be appearing with alarming frequency. The phenomenon was not just a series of isolated incidents, but a global occurrence that defied explanation. The details of the encounters often differed slightly, but the core elements remained the same. The unsettlingly mature children, the insistent pleas for entry, and most chillingly, the eyes, black as midnight and devoid of any light. These children, with their unnerving presence, seemed to carry an aura of dread that left witnesses deeply shaken.
In rural Staffordshire, England, I was walking my dog when I encountered a young girl sitting alone on a park bench. It was a quiet evening, and the park was almost deserted, which made the sight of the girl even more unusual. The girl, dressed in clothes that seemed oddly old-fashioned, asked me for help finding her lost puppy. Her voice was soft, almost pleading, and there was something about her that made me feel uneasy. As I drew closer, I noticed her eyes, two black pits that seemed to stare right through me. It was as if her eyes were voids, absorbing all light and emotion. The sight sent a chill down my spine. Terrified, I fled, my dog barking wildly at my side. The encounter left me shaken, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I had come face to face with something truly otherworldly.
A family in rural Oregon reported a similar encounter. Their experience was equally unsettling and left them questioning the nature of these mysterious children. Two children, a boy and a girl, appeared at their doorstep late one night asking to come inside. Their request was simple, yet there was something about their demeanor that felt off. They claimed their car had broken down and they needed to use the phone. The children spoke in a calm, almost robotic manner, which only added to the family's unease. The family, feeling uneasy about the children's appearance and insistent tone, refused to let them in. There was something about their eyes, dark and devoid of any light, that made the family instinctively wary. The children, their faces expressionless, simply stared at the family through the window, their eyes two black voids in the darkness. The sight was deeply unsettling, and the family felt a growing sense of dread. The family, deeply disturbed by the encounter, immediately called the police, but the children were gone by the time they arrived. The incident left the family shaken, and with more questions than answers, adding to the growing mystery of the black-eyed children phenomenon. What is it about the eyes that holds such power? Is it their ability to convey emotions without words, or perhaps their role as the gateway to our innermost thoughts and feelings? Across cultures and throughout history, the eyes have been recognized as windows to the soul, reflecting our emotions, thoughts, and even our very essence. From ancient civilizations to modern societies, the eyes have been a focal point in art, literature, and folklore, symbolizing everything from truth and wisdom to mystery and deceit. We are drawn to the eyes of others, seeking connection, understanding, and reassurance. A simple glance can communicate love, trust, fear, or anger, bridging the gap between individuals and fostering a sense of empathy and shared experience. The eyes of the black-eyed children, however, offer none of these things. They are devoid of warmth, emotion, and humanity, presenting an unsettling contrast to the expressive eyes we are accustomed to. Instead, they evoke a primal fear, a deep-seated unease that whispers of something inherently wrong, something that defies the natural order. This fear is not just a reaction to their appearance, but to the profound sense of otherness they exude. Their eyes are not simply dark, they are completely black, devoid of any iris or white. This absence of familiar features creates a void, a blank canvas that our minds struggle to comprehend. They reflect no light, no life. The darkness within their eyes seems to absorb everything around them, creating an unsettling void that feels both empty and infinite. They stare back at their victims with an unnerving intensity, a gaze that seems to pierce the soul, leaving those who encounter it feeling exposed, vulnerable, and deeply unsettled. This gaze is not just a look, it is an invasion, a silent demand for attention and recognition. Some witnesses report feeling a sense of dread or overwhelming sadness emanating from the children's eyes, as if they're gazing upon an abyss of sorrow and despair. This emotional response is not just fear, but a profound sense of loss and hopelessness that lingers long after the encounter. This unsettling lack of humanity in their eyes is what truly sets the black-eyed children apart from any other paranormal phenomenon. Their eyes are not just different, they are a stark reminder of the unknown, a glimpse into a reality that defies our understanding. It is this feature that cements their place in our nightmares, a chilling reminder that some things are best left unexplained, lurking in the shadows at the edge of our perception. The black-eyed children challenge our sense of reality, forcing us to confront the possibility that there are things in this world that we cannot explain, things that exist beyond the reach of our understanding, waiting in the darkness.